Shalom. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bracha HaKodash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And peace and salutation to the elect that's out here laboring in all truth and sincerity. To you I say Shalom. This is Brother Amon Ariel from the GMS Charlotte camp, coming back with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bracha HaKodash. And pretty much in this lesson, as we see the world is shutting down, all right? The world is shutting down, okay? Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is closing shop on all the Mirth in Babylon. Now, if you've been, seeing the news that's been spreading on the news dealing with this new possible, pandemic, they calling it the hantavirus, I think that's what it was called. And pretty much this is, slowly becoming, the next big thing, which these devils have been hitting at for some time now, that it will be another pandemic that will be worse than the COVID-19, okay? And we understand that, the Lord is doing this because Babylon the Great is getting hit with the plagues, that's going to, lead to his destruction, just like how he did when he struck Egypt. All right, matter of fact, let me get that real quick, because that's the thing that we're realizing. Well, we already knew it as the prophets, but the world in itself is realizing that this world isn't cracked up to what you think it is, man. All right, and restrictions are being made on all levels. Okay, so from the travel to even being able to, to self-sustain yourself outside of what Esau, Edom will allow. All right. So this next thing that we're seeing is just showing you that these devils are ready to shut down America, because that's the last that's the last thing that they really need to do to bring forth this new world order, because we know America plays a big part in the global economy. So as we see this situation with the Strait of Hormuz playing out, all right, the economy is being affected as they continue to straddle the fence between so-called ceasefires and, the plan with if the strait is open or not, man. All right, which is manipulating the stock market, which is putting more money in these devils' pocket. But the thing about it is, like I said, man, these devils are closing up shop. So the point of what the word is getting to is that, hey, these plagues that's beginning to hit, they're hitting harder and harder. All right, those are those birth pains that the I believe it's in the Apocrypha, it speaks about. All right, so let's get that real quick. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 5. It says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the earth, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." And all these things are being, seen in the earth. All right, these are the different horses that the book of Revelation speaks of, man. The red horse, the black horse, the pale horse. These are all, symbolic of the destruction that Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is bringing through the so-called white man Esau, Edom, who, according to Revelation, or it's like his Psalms 17 and 13, is the sword of the Most High. This is who the Lord is allowing to take peace from the earth, man. All right? So this hantavirus, this could be the next demic that these devils were warning about, man. Because you had that's resurfacing last year, pretty much. Gates of Hell was on The View, and he was hinting that the next demic was going to be way worse than the one we saw in 2020. All right, and this is something that they've been talking about for some time now. All right, but it's just been swept under the rug because people, all right, when they open back outside, and people are able to go back to their regular lives, they thought everything was back to normal. But what really is normal at this point, man? All right, and what we're seeing with this whole cruise ship situation is that they're restricting all means of travel, because the travel, the traveling is what the people use to pretty much, catch some form of rest in this society. Because when you're able to, travel outside of your place of residence, all right, you see a lot of people, taking these flights, which have now been, hindered, because we saw just recently this week, Spirit Airlines has officially shut down, all right? Talks of, JetBlue and Delta Airlines, all these cheap flights, that Jake was mainly the main ones, booking these ones. But these flights that Jake was, able to take, they were cheap, all right? As well as, the other airlines that's also in talks of pretty much being done away with, all right? And now cruise ships are now being demonized, all right? You had this situation with the hantavirus, and you saw a couple months ago, I think it was a Carnival cruise ship, how they had that feces, pretty much situation. I forgot exactly what happened, but I know it was pretty much, it was hell on that ship, because I think like the plumbing or something backed up, and it was like, shit everywhere on the boat. So, and the boat was flooded, so it's hell that the Lord is bringing on the earth. But this is because the Most High is shutting down all the avenues of mirth. All right, let's get this in Isaiah 24:4. It says, "The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish." All right, and that's the situation, man. Okay, hey, the people in this world are in pitiful case. That's why you see all these videos of people in their car crashing out, crying, complaining about how expensive, living on the earth is now. These people are talking about how they don't want to bring children into the world anymore because life is so expensive. Okay, and this is just continuing to bring forth what Esau has said, because the whole thing of the Great Reset is you will own nothing and be happy, to where everything is being overpriced, so that pretty much you'll be priced out to not be able to afford anything. And then Esau's solution is to bring forth a universal, what was known as universal basic income, which is now universal high income. But pretty much they'll give you a monthly stipend to pretty much live your life under a order, to where a social credit system will be set up. And in order for you to be able to maneuver in said society, is that you have to be in good standings with, what the government allows, and all things will be predicated upon that RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, if you haven't already figured that out. All right, so everything is going to be, localized. That's why you're hearing talks of smart cities, 15-minute cities, to where everything you'll need will be in a close proximity, to where you won't be able to travel outside of that parameter. All right, which is once again prophecy, man. Okay, that's Second Esdras. I believe that's the 16th chapter. All right, but before we get to that, we finish up here in Isaiah 24. All right, so continuing on, verse 5. It says, "The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate." And that's what this devil has brought into the earth, is nothing but desolation, man. All right, he has made the earth pretty much, unhospitable, to the point to where you can't do anything anymore, man. The food is demonic. All right, it's poisoning you. Okay, the water is poison. The air is getting you sick. Okay, everything about this society is poison. And that's because the laws of the Most High are not upheld here, man. All right, and that's because the wicked is ruling. Going to Isaiah, Job 9:24, man. So because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, Esau has pretty much, took on everything and corrupted it. All right, and this is the mind of the devil, man. Grab this real quick. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15 and verse 12 in the GNT. It says he thinks of human life as just a game, a market where he can make a profit. He believes that he must make money however he can, even by evil ways. And that's why he made this earth, which was supposed to be a paradise, pretty much a hellhole. It's a giant prison, All right, the earth is big enough to where you should be able to go wherever in the earth freely. But this devil has monetized everything to where you need a license to travel, okay? You have to have a passport to go outside of the country, all right? You have to have a driver's license to be able to drive, okay? You have to even have a proof of citizenship to even be able to stay in this country, man. So showing you that this devil, he has monetized everything for demonic gain, all right? That's why the scriptures say, for the love of money is the root of all evil, because money in itself isn't evil. Money in the scriptures is actually described as a form of defense, all right? Wisdom being the most efficient form of defense, but money isn't in itself a defense. But the way that Esau is controlling the money, he has made it into a talisman, which is pretty much got the people wrapped up in his web, to where you have to pretty much do sin to be able to bring forth, respectable amount of revenue. That's why, the men of the Lord and the true believers, all right, we make we pretty much are living off of our daily bread. All right, we're not out here trying to do more than what we need to, because we understand the situation of how this society is set up. All right, to where like people will literally work themselves to the bone just to be able to travel for a week or two, man. All right, hey, the thing was, they'll say, I believe it was every 2 months that you should really every month you should be able to take a vacation, especially if you're here in Babylon. That's the thing. They said that you should be able to take a vacation at least once a month, or if not once a month, every 2 months. But that's impossible in this society, because this shit is so fucked up to where nothing is cheap anymore, man. All right, you have to damn near plan ahead for a year just so you can afford a weekend vacation, man. Because not only is the airlines, all right, a hassle, all right, because with the thing that was with the Spirit Airlines, they were known for their cheap flights, and they ended up having to keep up with the rest of the world, because I never flown Spirit up until like 3-4 years ago, I believe, and it was flew Spirit and took a cruise for the first time in my life a few years ago, and the cruise wasn't too bad, all right, but the fucking the plane ticket was crazy expensive, because they literally charge you for everything, man. All right, you book the seats thinking that the seats are cheap, but then you gotta pay for the damn you gotta pay for baggage, you gotta pay for you gotta pay for your carry-on, all right, you gotta pay for Wi-Fi, you gotta pay for fucking peanuts, man. There was a point where that shit was complimentary, man. All right, and all that. So that just shows you that these devils want to restrict the travel to where only the rich can travel. Okay, because here it is. They're talking about it's an excess, too much carbon is being used. But then you see these rich elites, taking these private jets all across the world. Which, when they did the research, they are the main ones using more carbon than anybody else in the earth. But they're not going to tell you that with their skewed ass statistics, though, man. That just shows you that this is the devil ruling, man. All right, Hey, the food, the food that they're giving you. If you go to other countries, you see how much better the food is, but here in America, you're being poisoned, So that just goes to show, man, we are in hell, all right? And we need Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua to pretty much, redeem us out this prison because, like I said, man, outside is done, okay? There's no hope for Babylon. That's why, going back to Isaiah 24, let me jump down to the point. Verse 7, Isaiah 24:7, it says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. The point. The mirth of the tabret ceaseth. That's not the point. It's a couple more verses. It says, the mirth of the tabret ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoiceth, or that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. Right, because all the the things that people use for for relief here in Babylon is done. All right. It says, they shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every every house is shut up that no man may come in. Right. And that's exactly the situation that we're in, man. Okay. The mirth of America is gone. The fucking, the entertainment is trash. The bread and circuses is through. The music is garbage. Like I said, you can't even drink your problems away because the alcohol was actually given as a tool to pretty much help you cope. All right, like it says, give strong drink to those that are ready to perish. All right, another scripture talks about how wine maketh the heart merry. Well, even that's tainted because the wine has fucking sulfates in it, which is poison to your body, and then the alcohol period, bro, is not the same, man. We know these devils are praying over all the, putting all type of, the enchantments over the alcohol and shit. That's why they call it alcohol spirits, man. But the point of the matter is this, man. There's no more mirth in Babylon. All right, so you can't travel to get away from your problems, and you can't get away from your problems here in America. That just shows you that this shit is done, man. Let me go here. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and starting at verse 16. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. All right, we're going to get to a point to where people are going to start crashing out and coming after the people in positions of power. All right, you're going to see mayors, politicians getting strung up on the street poles, man. Like you saw in that movie, the Dark Knight, the one with Bane. How they was pretty much, carrying out, justice amongst themselves. And that's the point we're gonna get, man. Because all these politicians, they're being influenced by AIPAC, these small hats, and they're all forwarding the agenda of the elite. So they're the ones that's actually lobbying for your civil rights to be taken away, man. It says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay, because like I said, man, they're gonna shut the city down. They're gonna shut the country down. That's why you have the 10 FEMA zones, man. All right, because when this shit is said and done, man, you're not gonna be able to leave your appointed area. All right, and they're gonna shrink it down so much to where your only means of getting around is that 15-minute city that you're gonna be stuck in. Okay, that's why we've been warning to get your mind right, man. All right, like Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter tells you, it's a time and season for everything. We're not in the season of trying to vacation and jet set and travel and all that, because we know that we're in evil times, man. All right, evil and only evil is come, man. Bad times are arising. That's why Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, man, seek the Lord in the days of thy youth before the evil days come, man. And we're in the evil days, man, and it's only gonna get worse, more evil, more wicked, more demonic, as these devils are trying to bring forth this new world order. We're in the new world order as we speak. We're in the beginning stages. So these things that we're seeing in the news dealing with the air flying taken away, cruise ships taken away, even to be able to drive your own car they're in talks of getting rid of that. Okay, with the whole thing with this energy crisis dealing with the Strait of Hormuz, they're lobbying to start, allowing days to where you're not going to be able to drive, man. There's talks of, in certain places, I think Australia is already doing it, to where if your car ends in a certain number, or your license plate ends on a certain number, you're only allowed to drive these certain days, and then the opposite for, the other numbers. So they're restricting your ability to travel as we speak, and it's only going to get worse from here, to the point to where you're not going to have a car. That's why, what they're doing with the gas, they're diluting the gas to make it to where the gas that they're giving you is going to mess up your engine if you have a gas-powered car, which is why they're trying to make everybody transition to these electric cars. But even with the electric cars, we're going to get to a point to where you're not going to own a vehicle, period. That's why you're seeing the Waymos and the self-driving cars going around. But as we get into this social credit system, if you're not met with a certain credit score, you're not even going to be able to get in the car. Hey, the car that's going to come pick you up is going to be like that Black Mirror episode, Nosedive, with the chick. All right, when her score got to a certain number, it was so low that, hey, they sent her to jail. That's the shit that we're entering into. That's the type of society, the type of dystopian society that we're nearing, man. This is why you can't have your spirit in this place, man. All right? Hey, this shit is not this is not for your benefit. All right? All these promises that these elites are telling you is ultimately to get you into this prison, and it's going to be cemented by the RFID chip. All right? So let me grab this, and I got to go in. All right? Just want to do this quick lesson through the Spirit and Power. Yahweh Shemel Shah before I go into work. So this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right. All right. Because here it is. We're in the revitalized reincarnation of the Roman Empire, but this time it's a technological it's a technological Roman Empire. All right. These technocrats, which is the modern day Chaldeans, they're bringing forth a system which is predicated upon Satan, man. And if you don't want to bow to the image, all right, if you don't want to be a part of this system, you're going to be left behind, man. Hey, you're not going to be able to participate in life going forward, man. Like how they do when they phase out old technology, like the example I always use with the televisions, man. You see the old TVs that had the dial where you turn channels with the antennas, and went from that to the big back TVs to the flat screens. Now we got the smart TVs. Well, we're at a point now to where society's about to go digital. All right, biometrics, CBDCs, all these different technological advances that they're pushing out. Wearables, that's the new way, and everything is going to go from that to being under the skin, which is all predicated upon what? Verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, which is dealing with the chip. Okay, because as we always go into, this word causeth means to institute in law. All right, he's going to mandate it through the books. All right, legislation already has it down to where the government can make you get that chip. All right, and it's going to come. We're seeing them beginning stages being put to place. That's why you see everybody in Trump's cabinet is pro that. All right, Dr. Oz, or RFK, Trump, man, who was he surrounded by? All technocrats. Because that's the thing. Elon Musk, Sam Altman, all right, Jeff Bezos, these are all dudes that are for this chip that we're about to see pushed, man. Okay? And so without that chip, you're not going to be able to buy or sell or participate in that society, man. That's that Luciferian oath that you're going to have to take if you want to participate in the new world. All right? It says, here's wisdom. It says, here's wisdom, let him that have the... Let me read 17 again, just in case I didn't read it. I'll start at 16 again. It says that he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. The Neuralink. All right. You got the Neuralink, and you got, you know, the Neuralink is the brain chip, and you got the chip in the right hand. All right. So that's buy or sell, either one. Okay. It says that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Let him that hath the understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, man. Chi, Stai, Sigma. All right. Which is all throughout Esau Edom's system. Okay. That 666, that's in everything that he shows you, man. Okay. Because we live in a demonic world. All right. So you sincere believers out there, man, hey, pay attention, man, because this devil is making his move, and he's not hiding it anymore, man. It's in your face, blatant. Okay. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I gotta go in. So with that, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that rule well. And peace and salutation to the elect. Until next time, I say shalom.